Hello everyone, this is Season992 and today we're back from the brand new video. That's right, we're finally back after what's been a very long week. I think me and thee talking about football, ladies and gentlemen. I've missed you. Welcome in, take a seat. We're here to talk about Rangers as we have one more game left on the calendar before the dreaded international break. Now, how will we go in to that international break? That remains to be seen. But aye, let's go ahead, strap ourselves in and discuss the upcoming Rangers game. Now, before we do go ahead and dive in, by the way, I just want to shout out everyone who's been supporting the channel recently by either hitting that like button or hitting the subscribe button. We've got the 60k challenge. We're trying to reach 60k before the end of the season, and the support in the last few videos has been absolutely sensational. So thank you. Let's keep that up, and we might just smash that 60k barrier. But aye, speaking a smashing, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on with the actual videos. We start off with the oppositional preview and have a look at a resurgent Motherwell side who at my current time of recording have found themselves all the way up to 9th in the old table. Now, I don't know if you remember the last Motherwell preview video or have been paying much attention to the old SPFL, but the fact that Motherwell have found themselves in 9th, considering where they've been the last couple of times we've mentioned them, shows you how quickly things can actually change in football, because this side is no longer worrying and dreading that much about being in a relegation dogfight. No, realistically, they're now looking up, people, and actually discussing and thinking about trying to push in to the top 6 with the last couple games or try to get as high in the league as possible. That there is crazy, people, because the last time we saw Motherwell, the last time they had the previous manager, Mr. Hamill, of course, they were absolutely dead and buried. They were sinking. They're like the boat at the start of the Pirates of the Caribbean just before Johnny Depp steps off on the dock. They looked gone, people. They just looked void of all confidence, but it shows you what a manager can bring you as they finally parted ways after getting beat by Raith Rovers in the Cup, and in came David De Gea. Sorry, it's Stuart Kettlewell, I'm being told, ladies and gentlemen. Correction, live on air. Apparently, it's not David De Gea, but you know what I mean? You know, but anyway, people, Mr. Kettlewell has come in, and it's got to be said that he has well and truly turned things around. The old managerial bounce is well and truly in swing, because he's been in charge of 4 games after Motherwell parting with the previous manager after getting knocked out by Raith Rovers in the Cup. And Kettlewell has come in, and in his 4-game span, they have picked up 3 wins and 1 draw. They've had a phenomenal performance as well, by the way, versus Hearts, beating Hearts 2-0 at firpark. But it's not just the fact that they're getting results and picking up and having their best spell in terms of points wise and everything like that for about a year being a Motherwell spawn. This short sample size under Kettle is the best this team's been in a long time, people. But it's the way they're actually playing the football. They're actually playing good football, and it just shows you what a manager can actually do when you come in and give them the opportunity. And I'm sure the way that Motherwell's now playing and the way the players look rejuvenated and the way they're actually going about their business has Motherwell fans feeling a lot like us, ladies and gentlemen, the way we felt the last couple of months. What would have happened if we made the managerial change sooner when we actually should have, instead of dragging it out far longer than it needed to be? Motherwell's in the exact same situation, just obviously a different circumstance about it, because aye, it's got to be said, you couldn't be playing Motherwell at a worse time. This is as good as they're getting. Now, with that bold, obviously, outsider's perspective on Motherwell and how well that they're actually playing, what's actually causing this change? What's actually happening? Because yes, a new manager's come in, but the managerial bounce can only do so much. Just what has actually changed since we last faced this Motherwell side? And for me, a lot of that goes to not only with the personnel that he's actually selecting, but the formation that they're going with as well. It's a very unusual 3-4-1-2 formation, keeping the front three very narrow and playing a bit adventurous attacking football, especially if you're a Motherwell fan. Now, am I expecting to see that tomorrow, if I'm honest with you? No, but I do feel like they'll maybe drop to more of a 3-5-2 style formation, where again, they maybe abandon the 3 of them up there, narrow, attacking people and trying to create havoc with dropping just an extra one in the middle of the park to flood the middle, try and make it difficult on the outside, and have the wing back or left mid, right mid, whatever you want to call it these days, have them actually going it wide and doing a double up job trying to slow down Tavernier and what possibly might be the first start at firpark for none other than Ridvan, which we will speak about very soon. And I think if Ridvan is actually selected for this game. It may change actually the way Motherwell actually approach this game, and I feel like they're probably aiming for that as well because they've got big Obika. Obviously, we know him from his time at St Mirren. Big powerhouse, runs for days. I imagine he will be playing his part in the game tomorrow, and of course what he brings in work rate maybe doesn't have in maybe the technical flair side of things, but then you've got Van Veen who's kind of partnering on very well where he's maybe not got the work rate of an Obika, but he's obviously got a bit of Sahan, and they're two big laddies as well. So I imagine if Red Van is in there, he will be tested well and truly with the physicality of Scottish football, as I imagine one of them will be dropping right over to that side, and the long diagonal will be utilised a lot for Motherwell, trying to pick on obviously the massive size difference in that department. If that's the way it goes, look out for that, ladies and gentlemen, because I see them attacking it all day. And honestly, that's all I've really got to say about this Motherwell side. I've been very impressed with them under the new manager and everything, the way they're going about their business, the way they're working for each other. They're a very hard-working unit, and again, they're not blown away in terms of points department away from the relegation battle. We know how quickly things can change in actual football, but the way they're looking up rather than looking down these days, and that's obviously a place you want to be, especially 5-6 weeks ago when you were, I think, second favourite to get relegated in the league. They're nowhere near that anymore, and as I said earlier on in the video, it's probably couldn't be a worse time to play Motherwell considering how they're actually playing, but no disrespect to them or the fans or anything like that, but Rangers coming into this game, it doesn't really matter how good or how bad Motherwell is actually playing. Motherwell at their best still should be able to be chopped down and put away by this Rangers team, and that's what we're going to talk about next as we move away from the oppositional preview and get to the Rangers side, because trust me, there's things to talk about. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and talk about we need to win this game, blah, blah, and tell the stories that we know we need to win this game. We know we need to come in with the same intensity as we've seen versus the likes of the Hibs and the Hearts and everything like that away from him. We need to come at that and attack this Motherwell side. No, drop it down and say, oh, they're slightly worse off. Maybe we'll take it down here. No, we need to be at that level. So we're not going to discuss maybe that. I just want to talk about the personnel, Alfredo Morelos, contract situation and that, because there is so much to actually digest. So let's start off with the one that dominated the large majority of the press conference and that is the Alfredo Morelos conversation, because of course there was a BS rumour out there that he had signed a pre-contract with Seville. Again, I never commented on it, I never made a video on it, because honestly, if it looks like BS and it smells like BS, it usually is BS, and I didn't like to waste your time with it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I didn't do the clickbait videos. That's why I didn't get his clicking on stuff that I knew was absolute nonsense. I'm not going to waste your time with that fact, so I just left it because it was obvious it was nonsense. And Michael Beale did rubbish that, but a couple of these key words and key phrases I did find very interesting as he talked about being committed to each other until the end of the season. Committed to each other sounds good for those who want Morelos to stay, and then the end of the season stuff comes up and you start to say, oh, it doesn't look too great. Now, again, you all know where I sit with this one. I'm a big fan of Alfredo Morelos, despite me being criticising him and everything like that, but I feel like he should be criticised. If you're now starting to work out and do the extra reps and that now, cool son, we're two-thirds of the way through the actual season. Maybe do that during June, July and everything like that. I'm no going to happy clap that the season is nearly done and anything like that, but he is a very talented player, but I still believe we need to move on and part ways. Eventually I feel like his time has gone, and I'll always look to him and I'll always have good memories, because again, he's a phenomenal player. When he's at his best, when he's at fully fit, he's frightening, and I've seen him drag us to massive European nights, drag us to 3 points when we've been rotten. So I think there is be a lot of happiness with Alfredo Morelos, but for me, I'm not one of these people that's getting down in the trenches saying we need to sign a new contract, we didn't, ladies and gentlemen. The decision will be made at the end of the season. Michael Beale has made that pretty damn clear, and we'll wait to see what happens with Alfredo, but I just wanted to discuss that situation and almost partner it with another, as there was also a rumour, another BS story about Scotty Arfield getting a new contract. Again, I didn't touch it because again, it was clearly nonsense, and I didn't take advantages and want you to click on the videos again. Give me clicks. It's nonsense, people, right? So the Arfield one was rubbished again by Michael Beale, and what I liked about this as well, it's something we've talked about a lot on this channel, because I got slaughtered for the goals and stuff for saying this all last year, and I got slaughtered for saying and backing up Kent saying he's not been offered the contract, Jacko's not been offered the contract. I sit and say it in every video and people tell me it's a lot of nonsense. Well, Beale has confirmed not one of the expiring players have had a contract talk, and they won't have a contract offer until later on in the season. So we can all stop. Kent's no turned down deals. Goldson never done it last year. Morelos isn't doing it. Arfield's not doing it. Ryan Jack's not looking elsewhere either. They just haven't done their jobs where they should be actually doing it, which is a real worry, if I'm honest with you. And I know Michael Beale was trying to ease people's minds regarding this, but all this does for me, and I don't know if you feel the same, but it shows me the inability of a Ross Wilson, that we've got 5, 6, 7 players expiring contracts in 2 months, and they've not even had a sniff of a contract offer. They can sign with teams now, pre-contracts or no, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, where are we protecting our value? Somebody's not doing their job somewhere, and I think it's quite clear who it is. And I get it, we're not doing it until the end of the season, but what model is that? Get players under contract, and then you can actually move them on for some money, instead of saying, we'll save wages if we let Arfield, Morelos and that go at the end of the season. We'll save wages, but how much value did we lose, especially on Morelos, keeping him a year for when, let's be honest, he should have been punted. So I guess I was having a wee bit of a moan there, but I wanted to address the Morelos situation, address the Scotty Arfield, and address the overall contract situation, as none of our expiring players have been offered a deal so far. So no one is dragging heels, and no one doesn't want to be here or is checking the money elsewhere. Somebody's not doing their job at Rangers, and it's quite embarrassing. Speaking of embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen, we have another injury doubt for this upcoming game, and guess who it is? Guess who it is? The man who's never injured, Raskin. He's a doubt for the game. He's a Rangers player now anyway, I tell you that for free. God, the guy's never had an injury in his entire career. He's kept at Rangers, and he's now a doubt for the Motherwell game after picking up an injury. I don't know what we're doing at training, but it must be trying to recreate total wipeout on the Red Balls or something like that, because something's wrong with this club. The medical department, it's freaky and it's terrifying that players can come here, no having injuries for years, and they absolutely turn into Weetabix legs. It's frightening, people, but again, he's not been officially ruled out. He's just a sweat for the actual game. So forgive me if I'm sweating here, ladies and gentlemen, but I've heard this story before, and a week turns into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turns into 3, and then we didn't see him to the end of the season. But fingers crossed, touch wood, do whatever you need to do, people, that Raskin will actually be seen tomorrow. But and we may see the little man dropped to the actual bench just as a precaution going in to the old international break. But he has been called up for the under-21, so during the international break, it can't be too bad, at least. Anyway, I'll keep the fingers crossed. But where we do lose a potential player coming into tomorrow's game, we did gain another one, as Malik Tillman is back, baby. So you know what that means. Some real creativity coming very, very soon. And Michael Beale's confirmed he's back into training and he's available for selection tomorrow. Let's not talk about the fact that he's missed the last 3 games because he was injured, but somehow made the cup final without any training. We'll know. Talk about it, people. The fact that he's back's of course a boost, and that is the only real one that we've got returning wise to the actual starting 11. Everyone remains the exact same from the actual last preview video, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The last thing we need to talk about is of course the Barisic situation, because we mentioned Ridvan could possibly start this game, and that's simply because Barisic's wife is due a baby. They're due their first child, so a massive congratulations to them. I don't know if it was going to be happening today, tomorrow or the next day, but there is a question mark regarding Barisic to obviously be there for his wife, especially during their first child. So if that is the actual case, you've got Ridvan, who's been confirmed to be fit and ready to start. You've got Adam Devine, of course, the ginger Maldini, and Beale said something very interesting in his press conference where he talked about changing the formation and putting someone else you don't expect out there, which had me thinking, I don't know why, but I just got Kamara vibes for that. I don't know if that will obviously happen 60, 70 minutes, maybe a wee change here or there to just give Ridvan 60 minutes before tweaking it slightly or anything like that. But look out to that if you might see a wee formation change late into the game versus Motherwell. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the oppositional preview. That's the Rangers conversation. I've tried to rubbish a lot of the nonsense that's actually getting peddled, and we address the biggest issue where a lot of people slaughter these players for not signing new deals. They just didn't get offered them, people. How embarrassing and mental is that? And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the last thing we need to do is of course predict the Rangers games. And I feel like this is going to be a sere, long day, but I feel like we will eventually pull away. So I'm going to go with a very similar scoreline this season. Rangers 3, Motherwell 1, and I believe Tony Goals will be back in and amongst it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Tillman in the old score sheet as well. And with that being said, I've been sieging over 92. I do have some exciting things coming over the next couple of weeks and everything like that regarding content. I've been working hard on behind the scenes to bring you some stuff. So some returning favourites will be coming on Wednesday. Look out for that, and some other stuff will be happening during the international break. But aye, until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I've been sieging over 92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.